This probably a really good machine to consider if you're looking to get into laser engraving.
I am, dumbass. I told you, hold on, I'm having issues.
Should we buy a place together?
I think so.
Love that for you. And I can walk you through everything from mortgage rates to closing costs.
Nobody move.
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank.
Alright, so one of the first things we need to do in Lightburn, and you'll see that I have the LaserMaster 3 here on the bed, is we have to come over to the console. And in the console, I'm going to type $, and press enter so that I can see all of the different G codes in here. And
My
the thing
second
that's important, I think
monitor
it's
is fucking lagging.
74 right here. You see where it says 74 and 75? Okay, these are my SSID and my password. So I have to set my SSID from my network, and it has to be a 2.4 gigahertz network. You can't be on the 5G. I have to set my SSID and my password in here in order for the LaserMaster 3 to get onto the network.
See how that goes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type $74 equals laser shot. I'm going to press enter. And then I'm going to type $75 equals my password.
Oh my God,
and
feedback.
So now if we come down to the bottom, you'll see that a setting has changed, and we need to follow what it says here on the screen. It says reboot or type this command to apply. So we're going to type the $, WRS, just like that, and press enter, and you'll see that the Wi-Fi app has now rebooted, and it is ready, and here is the address that you'll go to in the browser. So we're going to copy that address, 10.0.0.16, and that is the address that we're going to go to in a web browser. Now, you can, over here, create a macro. If I right-click on any of these macros here,
Come on.
you can create a macro that has your information already preset in here so that you can set the Wi-Fi when you need to use it, like I did here. Then all you'd have to do is just click that button there, and then you'll get the message that you need to reboot the Wi-Fi adapter. So let's jump over to a browser, and now all I'm going to do is right-click in here and paste that address that I just got from the console, and you'll see that the Ortour authentication window will pop up here. Now the username and the password are both the same. You'll see that I've been here before. They're both the same, admin and admin. And then when we click login, we now have the complete user interface. I want you to notice how quick that logged in, by the way. I mean, it was absolutely instantaneous. So from here you can do anything that you need to do. Now we are connected via Wi-Fi. We're no longer connected by the USB. We can unplug the USB cable and do everything that we need from this web address right up here. So if you were in a shop next door, this would be the perfect way to do this. All of your controls are right here. Let's go to the system. You'll see here everything, all of the information is in here. If we go to the Gerbil tab, these are all your $ commands in here that we would normally do in Lightburn. But back on the control tab, oh, and one thing I didn't mention is that this is separated into tabs. Networking, jogging, all the different parts of the Gerbil commands are all done here across the top. or you can just scroll through here and look for what you need. But the control is where you're going to pretty much work. So these are all the files that are on my SD card right now. So now if I wanted to actually burn something, I would click the little play button right here, and it will see, please check that the laser is focused. That's a good thing right there. Ortur is coming out with a Z-axis stepper motor this year, so you can do Z up or Z down if and when you get one of those, and you can step it up or down by a certain amount, 1 or 10 millimeters at a time. 0.01 is right, and then we can do, at this point we can do checked, and then set the engraving starting point. So in this example, we're starting at 0, 0, and then if we click next, the number of passes, and so on. And then all you have to do is click start, and it will actually engrave. I'm going to cancel this because I'm not actually doing this right now, and the machine will go ahead and home again, and now it's back in the home position. But all you need to do is click the start button on any of the files that you upload in here. So that's just how simple it is to use this web user interface. All right.
Surface Sweeper dry cloths grab dust and hair and lock it away.
Nice.
Better than a broom. Love it or your money back.
My skin has been so much smoother, so much more hydrated since I've been using this product. It's Olay.
Alright, so let's talk for a moment. I know this video is getting long, but I'm hoping that everybody's going to appreciate all of the deep dive facts, the facts for nerds, and all of the things that you normally don't see in a review video to help you make your decision if you are thinking about purchasing a diode laser. Let's talk for a moment about the compressed spot technology, as they call it. Basically what this is when you take two diodes, you have one diode shooting this way, one diode shooting this way, they both hit a mirror. It winds up being a diagonal shape. Even if the diode itself is, all diodes are diagonal shape, but even if the diode emits a square shape, it's going to turn it into a rectangle. And the more diodes you put in line, the bigger that rectangle is going to be, up to about 0.1, depending on 0.1 millimeters, depending on how many diodes you have. So what these optical companies have done is they have a collimating lens, or I should say lenses built into one lens that corrects for that distortion and turns it into a square. And now these are going to be more expensive lenses than the typical lens that you put into a diode laser, because it's making that correction and because there are multiple layers. So that is what the compressed spot technology is. It's a series of lenses, and that's probably going to be, if you do the science on it, it's probably going to be 3 layers of lens. The top one being the convex with the round side up, and the bottom one being a convex with the round side down, and a flat in the middle. That's my guess anyway. I don't know for sure, but that's the only way that I could think that they could possibly do this, and I could be wrong. So I'm just taking a guess here. But I know that it is multiple lenses that are put together to correct for the rectangular shape. And they did a good job on this too. No matter how I ran tests on it, and I did a lot of, not just the one that you saw, with the square. I did several of them, squares and circles, and got them to just almost burn through the wood on a couple of different types of wood. And they all came out even everywhere. Corners, cornering, vertical, horizontal, circles, everything came out really well. So I'm going to give this module a big thumbs up. I really like it a lot. So 10 watts. 10 watts is becoming one of my favorite lasers. The size of the spot is small enough where you can do microfine engraving, and like I just said, you can engrave in every direction, at the same speed and power. You don't have to worry about, sides and corners not cutting through. It seems to work pretty well as far as I can tell. And like I said, I've put 40 to 50 hours more than likely on this machine, and I've run a bunch of different projects, mostly tests, but I have run like 5 or 6 different projects on it, and they've all turned out wonderful. So I'm going to give this machine a big plus. The only downside that I see to it was the engineering on the air assist. Now they're calling it an air assist, and it is to some degree, but all they're doing is driving more air down the outside of the laser, which is causing I don't know, maybe a Venturi effect or something like that, where the smoke and the debris is coming back up the middle and affecting the lens. And a real air assist, the air comes through a nozzle that's covering the lens. So you won't get the debris blowing back, very little of it anyway. I only clean my CO2 lasers and my other lasers with air assist maybe once a week. And this one has to be cleaned every day. So that's the only downside that I've really found with this laser, was the cleaning of the lens. And the air assist could have been better engineered, for sure. For me, I would put an aftermarket air assist on it so that I don't have to worry about it, the cleaning every single day. But, it's not really an air assist that this comes with. It's an air assist maybe for the cooling, for the housing cooling, but it's not coming directly out with the laser beam. So you're not getting the cutting advantage, number one. It's not going to cut any deeper than it would without the air on, because the air is coming out in the wrong place. But I see that as a small negative as far as I'm concerned. I think that all in all, the positives on this machine outweigh the negatives 100 to 1. So I think Ortur did a very good job on this machine. It's worthy of a new name, the LaserMaster 3. I know a lot of people have been waiting for this to come out. A lot of people are Ortur fans because of, one, their support, and number two, the updates that they constantly do. I think they're at 17 or 18 firmware updates now in just a couple of years. So that tells you that they're constantly working in the background. And I know Jill over in Portugal is constantly working on customer support. So if you run into any problems, you always can get live, sort of live, Facebook Messenger support. They have a support ticketing system at Ortur.tech. So you can get lots of support with Ortur, and that's always been one of the biggest pluses and why I like them so much, is because they're fast to
What?
If ever I've had a problem in the past, and I've had,
I don't care.
I don't know, I want to say 7 Ortur machines already, that any one of those problems were handled immediately. New parts were sent out. I have a box full of Ortur new parts that they sent just in case. I had a problem with the control board. They sent me all of the new mechanics for it, the control board, the wire, everything. So I wound up with a box, and this happened twice, so I wound up with a box of extra parts. So they're really good at support. The laser does a good job. The photographs come out really, really nice. The fine engraving is really, really nice. I think that I'm going to give this one a big thumbs up. If you're considering a diode laser, I would definitely put this up at the top of the list of diodes that you should do your research on and consider. So I know this has been a long video, so I'm going to cut it short now. I hope you enjoyed the deep dive and the facts for nerds, and all the additional information that you're not going to get in other places today. And as always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
The women of London stand with women of Israel.
The women of France stand with the women of Israel.
The Women of America, women of Sweden,
Women of Germany.
women of Ukraine, women of the Philippines stand with the women of Israel.
Women around the globe unite in solidarity with their Israeli sisters.
Having the knowledge about the material you need to mark, and then taking that and comparing it to your budget and what those lasers are in that budget range for that wavelength option, that's the formula. That's the magic formula here to find out what the best laser is for beginners, you know. And then finally, once you have that determined, then you have to ask yourself, am I doing this as a hobby or for business? Nice.
All right, guys. Welcome to the next. What is this? Our newest live stream rituals.
Yeah.
Tuesdays. I think today we're talking about what's the best first laser?
What's the best first laser for anyone? It's a huge question. So definitely something that is great to cover on the Laser Source podcast, for sure. Also, you mentioned the new schedule really quick. I'd love to just cover that super fast so everybody knows. We are really going to be trying to be consistent with the schedule. So every Tuesday, we're going to have a normal format podcast just like this. Same old Laser Source podcast you're used to watching all of the time. Thursday will be the same topic, but we'll be doing viewer call-ins to get your guys' opinions on stuff because that went so well last week. If you guys haven't seen last week's episode about potential recessions, definitely go check it out because it was a really good episode. So this week we're doing what's the best beginner laser engraving machine for somebody who's brand new. And then next week, you guys can call in and give us your opinions on that same topic. And we're going to stick really, really hard to being consistent on that schedule with a new topic every week across those 2 episodes. And of course, every Tuesday night, we will also be recording the LMA bonus episode for you off air, which you can find over at the Laser Master Academy. It's masters.lasereverything.net. So,
Walking
okay, that's the just housekeeping there real quick. But hey to everybody in the chat there. It's nice to see you all. And we got Kyle. What's up, Kyle?
What up?
Dude, I feel like you're going to have a lot to share on this topic, man.
I hope so.
Yeah, you've been through, 6 diode lasers in the last 2 months? Maybe?
5?
I'm sad that this episode is coming now and not a little bit later because that X tool just showed up at
It's true.
at the shop, but I don't think that's really a starter machine anyway. That's an
expensive starter
a
machine.
lot of people buy it as a starter machine, and that's like crazy to me.
It's on the premium level of diodes for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you've never touched a laser before, I don't know if that's the way to go, unless you just have $1,200 burning a hole in your pocket, in which case, by all means. But there are lasers that are very, very, very good for a third of that price. And you don't necessarily have to start with a diode either. I started with a CO2. What kind of laser did you started with a fiber, right, boys?
Yeah, I bought the 50 watt fiber laser first, and we just got our mirror in this past weekend, so I'm not good enough at either yet, so.
No, yeah, for sure. And Kyle, you started with a CO2.
I did. I started with a 100 watt 24x40 CO2.
Yep, I started with a CO2, I suppose, way back. It was an AP laser, but it was through the company I worked for. It wasn't mine. My very first laser that I ever owned was an Omtech. The red and black one, same one from the channel, was my first laser. Probably also something I might not recommend to people getting a first-time machine. They just take so much TLC. There's a lot of good things to be said about them. They're ridiculously affordable,
The value is there for sure.
The value is there for sure, but if you're not handy and you're just trying to figure out how lasers work, would something like a Mira 5 not be a better choice where it kind of just like shows up. It's got the chiller built in, you know, it's like got the fan, like everything's aligned, and like you're kind of like already working with high quality stuff.